Hi, this is me, Barbara, and I was born here in Detroit, Michigan on July 22nd. It snows a lot in Michigan, and I can remember when I was little and I'd love to go outside and play in the snow. I was really creative when I was a little child, and I loved thinking up games to play with my friends out in the snow. We would build snowmen, we would have snowball fights, we would build snow forts. I had a lot of fun when I was small playing out in the snow. Later, I moved to California, and that is where I started loving horses. I am a compassionate and caring animal lover, but I particularly loved horses. I began taking riding lessons when I was 12 years old, and I would go all the time and practice caring for horses, brushing them, and riding them. And finally, when I was 16 years old, I had persuaded my parents to let me have my own horse. Sadly, I had to sell my horse when I went to college, but then I started in the summer teaching children how to become horseback riders and giving them horse riding lessons. Horses are always an important thing in my life. I am active and very athletic. When I was 16 years old, I started learning how to play tennis. I think it's a really fun sport because you can play with a partner or with other people too. I've been playing tennis off and on during my life, and I was so happy when I met Mr. Wilson and discovered he liked to play tennis too. We have a lot of fun playing tennis together. Here you can see the world map. And this is evidence that I am adventurous and I love traveling all around the world. I got my first passport when I was in college and I traveled to Europe. I loved traveling and I decided that I wanted to keep traveling all my life and having lots of different adventures. I am a creative and kind teacher. When I got my first teaching job in California, I was just 22 years old and I was a kindergarten teacher. I was very creative with my young kindergarten students because I would write my own stories and songs to help them learn their letter sounds. And I wanted my students to love learning and love singing. I love being a teacher, and I continue to think of creative ways to help kids learn. Later, when I was 30 and still teaching, I moved to Italy. And when I moved to Italy, I became a risk taker because I didn't know how to speak Italian, but I was living in a country where everyone spoke Italian. So I decided to persevere and keep trying and not give up to learn Italian. At first, it wasn't easy for me to learn the language, and I had to study for hours and hours and meet with Italian teachers to help me learn to read and speak Italian. Now, I can read a book like this, Il Sole e la Luna, the sun and the moon. As I learned more and more Italian, I began practicing speaking it with different people. Buongiorno, come stai? Sono piace di vivere in Italia. That means I'm very happy to live in Italy. I am a sentimental person. I married Mr. Wilson. Yes, that's him. And yes, that's me 26 years ago. This is a picture of when we first got married. And I'm sentimental because I have kept this picture ever since we got married. I also have kept cards that Mr. Wilson gave me and other things that we get on our trips. I love collecting things and keeping them because I'm very sentimental. I am a very caring person and a very responsible person because when Mr. Wilson and I moved to China, we decided we wanted to have a dog. But you have to be responsible to have a dog. You have to take them on walks, feed them, give them lots of love, give them baths, and that is what I did every day for our lovely little dog Kelsey. This is his collar, and this is how Kelsey looked. Kelsey came with us to India. He's a world traveler just like us. And here's a picture of Mr. Wilson and I in India. This shows that I'm a really curious person because I love learning about different cultures. When I got to India with Mr. Wilson, we had many questions about why people eat certain foods, why they celebrate certain festivals, why do they have the red spot here, why do you wear this kind of a garland when you first come to India. We are filled with of questions, which shows we're very curious. Now you know about me and my identity.